Hey everybody, Spoonfed here. Continuing my new series on SEO and starting your own site. The last video was about keyword research, which is the most important step in starting this whole project. After thinking of your idea, you should definitely do keyword research. If you haven't done so, please follow the link in the description to glance at it and perform keyword research. It would definitely majorly improve ranking your site and easily getting loads of targeted visitors to your site, which you want. Now, if you've done keyword research, you should by now have a big database of keywords that should have inspired you to think of a domain name. For sake of this example, we did insect identification, which there isn't one great site for that. There's one great service that just works. So also, anyone wanting to make this, please do, because I've got enough of my time occupied with my own projects. But if you do make this, please give me a nod of recognition or whatever. That I would appreciate that. Now, for this project, you've done your keyword research, and I've done basic keyword research. This is the same that you saw in the video. So because I just want to explain stuff and not come up with a actual domain name that I'm gonna carry out. For this one, we had an insect identification. So we could get the name insect identification or insectidentifier.com or whatsthatinsect.com. Those are all good names for the service that you're providing because they're clear and that's something that people are likely to type in. We saw that insect identification was a big one, and .org was already taken, but we can see if others are available. Now, how do you acquire a domain name? Well, they are called registrars. There are several out there, but I think the easiest one and the biggest one out there is GoDaddy. So I would just go to GoDaddy.com, which is maybe a weird name, but anyway, that's how we do. That's their domain or their brand name. Now, here you can see that it's $12 a year. Some are only $2. I don't know what the catch is. Oh yeah, you have to have 18 cents a year for the ICANN fee. And ICANN fee is the fee that you pay for the registration of your actual name. So, but 18 cents, that's not much. So, let's just type in insect identification. Just one word, insect identification. Go. We're gonna see if it's available or not. And .com is already taken, but they offer some suggestions to what is available. This one is available with different extensions, but in our case, we need to think about what do we want the extension to be. Is it that much of an effect on the overall SEO? Well, some might say, yeah, a .com is very easily rankable, but a .org or .net is so hard to rank. Well, it depends on what you do with the site, really. It's more about the keyword than what's called the top level domain. You have several extensions, and one of them is a geo top level domain, which basically means like the .us and .ca that you see there mean for .us is for United States and .ca is for Canada. I wouldn't recommend a G top level domain if you are looking for a global product. So now here you have additional keywords that they still have well, there's not really much in there that we want, like the insect identification or sites behind it. That's not what we want. We're gonna first do it like that, like just type it like that, and then maybe we can put in hyphens or whatever. Just see if this is available. Well, this is not available anymore. Sometimes they will say use domain by to get this name, because not all domains have sites on them. Some might just be registered by someone hoping to get a quick buck by selling it to someone else without anything on there. .net is available, .org is available, and .info is available. .info I wouldn't do, because here you can see like their take on things, why you should do an info, and it's a .info could actually be ours right now. I wouldn't do it, but you could do it because you provide information. So .info would actually technically be correct, which is very cheap as well. A .net is usually the second best option for .com, because a .net is so closely related to .com. It's incredible. And a .org is for organizations and for non-commercial purposes. So an info is indeed for information, but I would only do a .info if you're not selling a product and being a non-profit information organization. We could do what's that insect.net. That will basically be a good one, and it's only $10 probably per year. So let's keep that in mind. Now we have what's that insect like that. Is that already also taken? No, that's still available. So you have what's that insect with hyphens. Now there was a big discussion going on about hyphens in domain names, if that's good or bad or whatever. If you use a hyphen in Google, it usually means that you wanna not have that keyword in there. So in this case, if you would do it, that and insect would not be in there, or basically no, that hyphen insect would not be in there. But this is hardly any the case anymore. I think if you look for what's that insect and you would have this domain, you probably rank pretty high fast. The problem is this is more of a marketing slogan than an actual brand name, or it is a service keyword domain name, but the problem is we don't know how much this will get this search volume, like what's that insect, that phrase. So you could use this time to go to the Google keyword tool and punch it in and see, is there enough traffic for this? If not, don't take it, because the domain name is one of the biggest things that will get. It should be your main keyword, as it were. So we don't have that. We can search another one. I think we can do here search for another one. We could have insect identification like that. It is also being used. You could do maybe insects identification. And that one is still available. So just, have a little bit of a wrestle here, and after that you're gonna go to continue registration, and you get loads of options if you wanna do stuff. We can do it just for completeness sake. If you want this, that is fine. The problem is you pay more, so you can get all three for just $15 or get 5 for 28, but you want to keep your expenses low as possible in the beginning. If you do have your .com, then it's probably wise to also get this package if you're really committed to getting your domain out there. You could link all these back to your main site. You could have all these domain names and just have them all be routed to your main site. So index like .net, .org, .info, whatever they type in, it will go to your site. It's probably the best reason to do if you're really interested and committed to getting this domain name and brand name up and running. I would suggest doing this. No thanks, because not for now. Now we'll see the next step, which is basically putting in all your information. I hope I can go in here. Yes, this is the next step, because I'm not gonna type everything in. I don't want it. You can choose for how long you want the site to be registered. So you pay for 2 years. The domain name will be registered for 2 years. The name only, no hosting, no whatever, just domain. A certified domain means that it is authentically registered by you. Now, when would you want to have that? Let's say you're a big company like Google, and you're going to create a service, or an employee of you is going to create a service in the name of Google. You want to have your Google stamp on there. You can make it a certified domain, saying that this is a new service, but it is actually registered by Google. So when people do a whois check or whatever, they can see, oh, this is actually from Google. So this is authentic. It's secure. Now you have auto renew protection. What that means is when it's time to change or almost renew your domain registration, you'll get an email from them saying your domain name is about to expire. Please, if you want to keep it, pay again for any length of time. We'll go to privacy and domain protection. Okay, the standard is what you have, and you can have the super sick protection, which is this, which is $25 extra a year, and it's a bit, well, overkill, I would say, because this is for accidental or malicious transfer, which basically means that maybe GoDaddy can be exploited to transfer your domain to another account. This is outdated information or other stuff that's on your site that people cannot sue you for or think or complain against. This is pretty handy because you can do information about your business in a whois registration. So for everyone who is searching whois can instantly see some vital info about your business. Now, in this private registration, that's the one that you really want, because nobody can then see your real name. If you don't care for all of this, by all means do a standard registration, but that doesn't mean that all the information that you just typed in here will be on your whois page. Almost nobody does it anymore. I've yet to come across it, unless you're a big company. You can have maybe like your service desk on there. Now, activate the domain is do you want an email with that? Do you want hosting with it? And do you want to have an SSL certificate? Just gonna do a quick explanation on why you should or should not do this with GoDaddy. The thing is, your domain registration is just that. You're registering the name of the domain so that nobody can buy that anymore. Nobody can have that domain. So you only have the domain name. But now you need space on the internet to put your files that will load when people go to that domain name in their browser, and that is considered the hosting. The hosting takes care of locating some space for you on the internet, and the registrars are there for making sure you can buy a name so that nobody can use it anymore. Some countries have chambers of commerce that do the same. So if you want to have a business, you cannot have the same name as another business in that country. So that can't be if I want to say, oh, I've got a great new product and I want to start up a new company and I'm going to name it, Coca-Cola. I cannot, because that name is already taken. Chamber of Commerce sees to that. So that's what registrars do. They give you option to lock the name down, and hosting does the locating of space on the internet for your site. Emails. You could have your own email with your domain, which would pretty much be something you want, because nothing is more unprofessional, I think, than not having your domain name as an email address on your own site. So if you have, like for me, I have spoonfed.org, I have an email address that's spoonfed@spoonfed.org, because if I would have spoonfed@gmail.com, I think it doesn't look professional at all. It just looks like a hobby or something you do on the side or totally not interested in doing, and it looks shady as well. So would you want to have email address with GoDaddy? Well, to be honest, there are cheaper options for hosting and emails at once in one go. So I would advise against doing this on GoDaddy. Use GoDaddy only for your domain name. If you do want to have everything in one package, by all means do so. I mean, you're a free individual, you should make your own choice. I'm just giving advice on how to get started and keep your costs as low as possible. So if you want to have it as low as possible, you might say, well, why not go for a .info or .net domain, because they're much cheaper. They are much cheaper, but the problem is they sometimes are harder to rank because of their extension, and their extension says something about what you want to do with the site, and if that site is not arranged how the extension should be, then you have a hard time ranking it. Now, I'm gonna skip this, and basically next step is payment. As you can see here, the card is payment, and then you supply PayPal, I think, or credit card, or whatever you want, and then you can pay for this domain name, and then it's yours. I'm gonna do a separate video on hosting, because pardon me, there's some things I need to explain. Ooh, one thing that is cool. This is expensive, but basically means that you can have an HTTPS on your site with a real certificate that is, going to encrypt information with 265 bits, which is pretty cool, but it's pretty expensive as well. So, in the beginning, you might not want this, and you can always later on add this to your site. If you're gonna do logins and gonna store them, you have to think about those security measures, and that will be covered in later videos, because that's part of how or what to do with the site build up, what you're gonna do with the content management system, with databases, security options, e-commerce options. Do you want to have a shop in there or whatnot? So this is it for registering a domain name for your new site, your new project. So, I hope that's helped you out, and leave a comment on either my YouTube or on my Facebook or Twitter, the new domain name to me. I'll be happy to inspect it. Just share it, and let me know what you want to do with the domain name, and I'll see you for the next video.